What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So we got a synergy for Jade today. She's been out for about 2 months, and I'm at the point where I think this might actually be intended, even though it's really, really powerful. We're going over Jade's massive damage synergy for level 10,000 Void Cascade and Eidolon fights, and basically how can you take advantage of this to get the easiest level 10,000 one-shots in Warframe. So let's get right into it. Before we do, though, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, discussion videos, all that kind of stuff. You're in the right place for Warframe content. Make sure to hit that sub button. Appreciate all the support of the recent video, guys. It means a lot. Alright, so let's talk about the abilities of Jade, and specifically Deathbringer on Jade, and how it influences your damage in Void Cascades to one-shot level 10,000s with your amp really easily. Now, here's the thing about Deathbringer on Jade. It's going to be for her third ability, the Power of 7, or the Song of the 7, or whatever. I don't know. I've been watching The Boys recently, so maybe that's the wrong name for it. But either way, the Power of 7 is going to be her special buff. It's got 3 different buffs you can cycle between. A Power Strength buff, a Shield Regen buff, and the Deathbringer buff, which is a Weapon Damage buff. Now, what the ability does not tell you, and if you didn't test everything out, you might not realize this, is that the Deathbringer buff from Jade applies to your Operator amp. It is one of the only things in the game that buffs the Operator amp's damage. And since we usually jam a ton of Power Strength on Jade, that Deathbringer buff scales with Power Strength. So you can get hundreds of easy % extra damage on your amp with a Jade kind of like nearby you. I believe her buff is a affinity range buff, so you don't even really need that much range on Jade, just maximum Power Strength. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that in the simulacrum to show you how that works. But yes, it does work on level 10,000, guys. But here's the funny thing. If you use the build that I recommend on my channel, you don't even need this buff. But hey, you know what? Why not? I don't really want to use Void Strike on level 10,000. I also have a Void Strike on at all times. So let's get right into what we've got and displaying how this actually works. Alright, so we're in the simulacrum right now. And I've got Jade equipped. Now let's go ahead and show the build and all this stuff, and we can explain why it will be doing so much damage. Now, we look at the Jade setup. I've got 5 Power Strength Tau Shards, extra like 75% strength. So we're at 373% strength before multi-augmented and before any of the other kind of like Matarai Double Dash stuff. Remember too, Jade does have 2 aura mods, so we can have Growing Power and Brief Rest for easy shield gate and easy power strength. And yeah, it's got a ton of power strength on here with a lazy shield tanking build. We'll be using the Shield Regen buff of Spirit of Resilience to just basically never die. And this does work at level 10,000 as well. Alright, so what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be casting the Deathbringer buff from, it's called Symphony of Mercy, not the Power. The Power of the 7 is actually the Power Strength buff. Okay, I'm watching too much of The Boys, dude. The Symphony of Mercy, Deathbringer buff's what we're looking for here with this current build, 373% amp damage buff. When you get corrupted, it becomes doubled, so it can be like, almost 1,000% buff at sometimes. Okay, so let's go ahead and cast that. Now, reminder too, you can only have 1 buff on Jade active at a time, so if I cast her buff, this Power Strength buff is only active as long as I have it on the screen. If I swap over to the other buff, that will go away. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show exactly how this works right now. So I got some Thrax over here. Now remember too, Thrax were made even weaker to void damage in the Jade Shadows update, so they're really, really easy to kill with Jade. And yeah, this buff will work for your teammates too. So we cast Roar. Just gonna kill these guys real quick to get them to their normal like ghost form. So let's go ahead and get that out there. All right, so we've got a so we don't have the Deathbringer buff active. We got Power of the 7 active, so there should be no damage buffs here. All right, on a non-crit 209, on a crit headshot 2.2 million damage with your amp. All right, so we're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna kill another Thrax. Now let's cast our Deathbringer buff and see what kind of damage numbers we're dealing with here. Alright, 7.8 million crits. So as you can see, it definitely does work. Now, if we were to, do some other stuff too, the combination of Deathbringer and Roar is pretty gross. Making it where you're like, with the Quantum Band, our DOT procs would be really nasty with Roar and Deathbringer active. So really good stuff there. Now let's do the exact same thing. Let's throw on Void Strike too. Let's see how crazy numbers we can get with Void Strike and this. Now, it will be diminishing returns, because Void Strike's like 1,000% damage. We're already doing like 370% damage, so let's go ahead and see how much it is, though. We might as well throw a Contamination Wave while we're at it, too. Alright, 55 million damage. That will one-shot level 10,000 Thrax. And yeah, Jade is extremely good. Now, this will work on Eidolon fights, too. If you're actually doing Eidolon fights in Warframe in 2024, maybe that could be useful to you. But you'll probably just be using Volt anyway, because Volt has a movement speed buff and Jade is kind of slow. Now, does this change anything at all in the game? Not really. No, it doesn't. I mean, I could one-shot these. I can still one-shot these guys without Deathbringer on Jade. I can just, like, literally, if you look at the footage in the background, I've literally got her power strength buff up, and I'm still one-shotting level 10,000 Thrax with the wrong buff. So this means basically nothing, but it lets you be more lazy in Void Cascade, as you can kill these guys in level 10,000 with, like, pretty much just one contamination wave. No Void Strike needed. This will allow you to, like, use Vazarin Oz. If you want to use Vazarin for Void Cascade, I would recommend bringing a Jade with you, because Jade's going to be giving you that damage buff, and you'll have the Vazarin to be, healing everybody, or, like, invincibility framing or whatever. So, yeah, a really, really good buff for Jade. Now, here's what I hope, and I hope that DE does. I hope that DE does not call this a bug or whatever, because it's been in the game for, like, 2 months, and I think what DE should do is they should make it where other buffs apply the Operator Amp as well. Why can't Roar apply to the Operator Amp? Why can't, why can't Eclipse apply to the Operator Amp? Why is it going to be only Jade, and this one for Jade might not stick around? I think it might be something like they're testing the waters, like, hey, can we buff Operator Amps and it doesn't break the game? Turns out, it doesn't break the game, because we were already one-shotting these guys anyway. What's 370% more damage on these enemies we're already one-shotting? To me, it makes pretty much no difference. It's just a fun little, like, not even Easter egg, just a fun little feature that's not immediately apparent, because the way the ability's worded, it says increases a weapon damage. Amp is not usually considered a weapon for most things in this game, but there's times where it is considered a weapon, so it does make sense that it works, but it's also very surprising that it works, because basically no other buff works on Amp. So, hope it doesn't get patched out, but either way, guys, this is going to be one of the best ways to play Void Cascade. If your team's like maybe not as geared, bring one Jade. Everyone's got a crazy better amp now. I am using the 177 amp in this video, or sorry, 147 amp, which is Replock Prism, the Pod Scaffold, and the Certus Brace. The maximum crit, we got the primary Sniper Shot, the Alt Fire Glaive Launcher, and the maximum crit version of this. So really, really good. And as far as the Operator Amp Arcanes, Eternal Eradicate and Eternal Onslaught. But if you're using Jade, you don't even need Amp Arcanes, probably, unless you're maybe at level 10,000, so. That's basically going to be it for the video, guys. Just a quick one to show you how crazy this can be. Now, I have a Void Cascade full guide on my channel if you want to check it out, but that was before Jade came out. I would definitely say going forward, Jade is a very good option here. Not only is she very good at killing Thrax, she's very good at buffing her teammates' survivability. You can see here, she's very good for buffing Operator Amp damage, and the list goes on. She's got a bunch of other stuff going on, too, so. Hope you guys found the video fun, helpful. I'll see you on stream tonight. Probably with some Warframe, if not the first Ascendant, and then Warframe on like tomorrow or like Saturday or something like that. So you guys take it easy, and hope you enjoy playing Jade and playing Warframe. Take it easy, guys. Bye.